Hey there, the Oscar nominees are gonna be announced in just a couple days, so I'm gonna go ahead and make my own predictions about who's gonna get nominated and who's gonna win and all that fun stuff. Okay, so first category I'm gonna talk about is Best Picture, and up until last year they had 5 movies nominated, but since then they extended it to 10. And I think that's a good thing. Why the hell am I doing this? It's like I'm a T-Rex. I'm gonna nominate 10 movies as well, and obviously I recommend them all. They are all great films and you have to see them before you die, or else you'll die. My first nomination is The Social Network, directed by the obscenely talented David Fincher, and when I first heard that Fincher is gonna make a movie about Facebook, I was like, what a crap, right? But this turned out to be amazingly entertaining and engaging. It basically shows how Mark Zuckerberg, a socially awkward college nerd, comes up with this idea that will turn him into a socially awkward billionaire. And personally I have like no interest in Facebook, and still I found this movie to be fascinating, which says a lot about it. Second nomination goes to Black Swan, and I know this is a movie that not everybody is going to enjoy. It is about a ballerina who is chosen to play a double role in the Swan Lake Ballet. She must dance the white swan, who is innocent and pure and good, and the black swan, who is seductive and all evil. And so Nina, the main character, in her attempt to capture the essence of the black swan, who is so opposed to her own personality, trying to be the bad girl, she loses herself in this role, and along with that she loses her mind. Now this is truly a masterpiece of a movie, but it is made quite artsy and it has a lot of ballet in it, so it may not appeal to everybody, and I have hair in my mouth. I would say that if you enjoyed Repulsion by Roman Polanski, you are probably going to like Black Swan a lot too. By the way, if you wanna see the movie just for that scene with Natalie Portman masturbating, I'm not gonna tell anyone. Next I'm gonna nominate True Grit, and oh my god, this movie is just so totally awesome. And I'm going to ask somebody to shoot me if I ever say oh my god, totally and awesome in the same sentence ever again, but I just cannot say enough good things about this film. It is obviously a remake after the original from 1969, and it is a better version of it, believe it or not. Which says a lot because that movie was freaking fantastic. It is a full-on true western with gunfights and horseback chases, with a villain that is pure evil and a hero that is fearless. It is epic and humorous and well acted, and I couldn't be happier about it. I'm a western fan and this is the best one in years, if not in decades. And then of course there is Inception, which so many people love to hate for reasons that are just beyond me. As you may know, it is about this technology that makes it possible to invade people's dreams and steal their ideas. And now the best of these thieves is bribed to take on one last mission that doesn't require him to extract an idea but to plant it in someone's mind. And if you watch my channel, you've probably seen my review for it. It is an insanely brilliant film, and y'all haters can suck my thumbs. My fifth nomination goes to 127 Hours, which is the true story of this rock climber that one day went hiking alone without telling anybody where he's going, and he fell into a deep canyon with a boulder crushing on his arm and trapping him in there. Now this movie can get hard to watch. It ends up being quite graphic, and if you are the squeamish type you may wanna stay away from it. Pussies. But it is so well made and visually stunning, and definitely one of the best this year. Then we have The Fighter, which is about the early career of boxer Mickey Ward, who up until this point has always been outshined by his older brother. He was losing fights left and right and had nothing going for him really, until he met Charlene, who became his girlfriend and gave him enough confidence to rise and become a good fighter. Now the one thing I wasn't crazy about in the film was Mark Wahlberg's performance. I mean, the movie is supposed to be about him and he's hardly noticeable as a character. Maybe it's just me and I dislike him for no good reason, but sometimes when I see him on the screen I'm just reminded of his days as Marky Mark. Yo, it's about that time to break forth the rhythm and the... But yeah, I just think he doesn't do anything with his character here. It's actually the supporting cast that makes this movie so great. Like Mickey's mother and his 7 sisters from hell and Charlene and especially his brother, who is also his trainer and a has-been boxer himself. Nomination number 7 is The King's Speech, and it is about the Duke of York, soon to be known as King George VI, who had a speech impediment and he was compelled to speak in public with a severe stutter. The film shows his struggle and his efforts to overcome this disability with the help of a speech therapist who uses strange and unorthodox methods. Now please don't be put off by the plot. I know that some of the films in this list don't necessarily sound interesting. I mean, a movie about Facebook and good ballerina gone bad and a king with a stammer. I know how it sounds, but They're also wonderfully made. You will do yourself a great disservice if you don't give them a try. My next bet is on The Kids Are Alright, which is about a lesbian couple with 2 kids. Each woman is the biological mother of one of the children, and they are half-siblings because both women were artificially inseminated using one donor. So after the girl turns 18, her brother convinces her to meet with their biological father, and all kinds of issues rise from now on. If you noticed, most of the movies nominated for Oscars are usually epics and hardcore dramas and this kind of films, but they also like to slide in a well-made comedy among them, like Juno and Little Miss Sunshine, and I think this year is gonna be The Kids Are Alright. Another great movie is Winter's Bone, and this is why having 10 nominations instead of 5 is a good idea, because now a small and independent film like this one can have a chance to win an Oscar nomination. And it will most likely not win if it does, but it still can get the recognition and the exposure that it deserves. It's about a 17-year-old girl named Ree. Her mother is mentally ill and they are dirt poor, they hardly have enough to eat. And she has to take care of the house and her little brother and sister all on her own. On top of everything, her drug-dealing father put up their house as bail and then went missing. So if he doesn't show up in a week, they're gonna be all evicted. Trying to avoid that, Ree sets out to track down her father, and she puts herself in great danger in the process. And finally, number 10, I'm gonna nominate Never Let Me Go. I'm not gonna get into details because I just reviewed it in my previous video, but I'm gonna admit it is a long shot. I mean, the Academy unfortunately doesn't just nominate the best films. There is this unwritten rule that there must be a good message behind them. And I'm afraid that the message behind Never Let Me Go is too grim and gloom and doom to make it to the list. Which would be unfortunate, and I hope the Academy will be open-minded about it, but I doubt it. Now for the winner, I think that should be Inception hands down. And it is not my personal favorite of them, that would be True Grit. And the one that left the biggest impression on me was Never Let Me Go. But you have to consider the whole package, everything that went into it. All the actors and all the characters created, and the plot, and the script, and the cinematography and visuals. Inception is just the best movie, there is no doubt about it, and I hope the Academy will acknowledge this. But I'm afraid they will give the Oscar either to The King's Speech or The Social Network. Both are about conquering the difficulties of life and succeeding in spite all odds and all that shit, while Inception is just a movie about dreams. And if they do that, it would just be so unfair. Inception just deserves to win. Next category is for Best Actor, and there will be 5 nominees, but I only have 4 names. James Franco for 127 Hours, Jeff Bridges for True Grit, Colin Firth for The King's Speech, and Jesse Einsberg for The Social Network. I think the most likely winner is Colin Firth. His role was extremely challenging. He had to speak with a stutter through the entire film and make it look genuine, which he did. He had to make us understand and feel that struggle, which was very hard, and he deserves to win for accomplishing this. For Best Actress, I have 3 bets with a possible 4th. Natalie Portman for Black Swan, Annette Bening for The Kids Are Alright, and Jennifer Lawrence for Winter's Bone. Also, Carey Mulligan could be nominated with Never Let Me Go, but since half of the movie is with her as a child, I'm not sure that her screen time was enough to get her a nomination. Now, the one who should win is Natalie Portman, and like I said on my blog, if she doesn't win, the world should just come to an end. She absolutely made the best female performance of the year. She played the good girl and the bad girl and was brilliant at both. She took ballet lesson for like 10 months. She gave this role everything she had. This award should be hers. But the problem is that Annette Bening was nominated for an Oscar 3 times in the past and she never won. And as an older actress, she's not gonna get that many opportunities again. And yes, another thing that pisses me off is that the Academy does take these things into consideration. If they give the award to Bennett, I'm just gonna have to hit somebody. I mean, she was great, I'm not saying she wasn't, but this Oscar belongs to Natalie Portman. For Best Supporting Actor, I nominate Andrew Garfield for The Social Network, though he honestly deserves one for Never Let Me Go as well. Then Jeffrey Rush for The King's Speech, Christian Bale for The Fighter, Mark Ruffalo for The Kids Are Alright, and with a bit of hesitation either John Hawkes for Winter's Bone or Matt Damon for True Grit. I think Christian Bale is the most likely to win this one. He plays Mickey Ward's brother in The Fighter, and like in The Machinist, he dropped weight for this character like it's not even funny. He's known for transforming his body in a matter of months for his roles. He was the heart of the film, and it is because of him that The Fighter will get a nomination for Best Picture. He was just that good. For Best Supporting Actress, I'm gonna go with Melissa Leo for The Fighter, Helena Bonham Carter for The King's Speech, Hailey Steinfeld for True Grit, and hopefully Keira Knightley for Never Let Me Go. Here I have no idea who's gonna win. I'm just gonna go with Hailey Steinfeld because she was only 13 when she was filming for True Grit, and she held her own with established actors like Jeff Bridges and Matt Damon, so her acting was remarkable. But I'm not sure if the judges will give an Oscar to someone that young, and at her first big part in a movie. Best Director, and here I have 6 titles. Danny Boyle for 127 Hours, David Fincher for The Social Network, Tom Hooper for The King's Speech, the Coen brothers for True Grit, Darren Aronofsky for Black Swan, and Christopher Nolan for Inception. I think the winner will be David Fincher because I love him and I wanna have his adopted children, but also because he basically made a movie about computer programming that is easy to understand and fun and captivating, which I still have no idea how he managed to do that, but he should get an Oscar for it. Okay, this video is getting way too long, so I'm gonna finish my predictions list on my blog, but before I go I have to say that for Best Original Screenplay, Inception has to win. It is by far the most elaborated and complex script. Christopher Nolan worked on it for some 9 years or something crazy like that. I'm just hoping that all the animosity directed at the movie won't get in the way. That's about it. I will link my blog below for the full list of possible nominees, and also you will find there my reviews for most of these films. Also, if you have other suggestions for possible contenders, feel free to leave a comment. Unless you want to leave a comment saying that Inception is overrated, in which case feel free to go fuck yourself in the face. Still friends?